Hey guys, it's Kendra, Hermit Wife. I'm here going to do Deadpool review. Yay, Deadpool. Uh, I'm sure everyone's seen it by now, but there are a lot of people out there that I've seen that are looking up reviews on it, and I looked up a couple of different ones, but I saw it when it first came out, and then I bought it on the first day it released at Walmart, and I've seen it 10 times at least since. Sometimes me and my husband are just like, hey, let's watch Deadpool again. We watched it yesterday. I don't give a shit. Let's watch it again. Because it's just so damn funny. And we love Marvel. And we love DC Comics. We're really into the superhero, supervillain scene. So we were really sad when we watched the X-Men one, Days of Future Past, where Deadpool was in it, but he wasn't this Deadpool. He was like naked and had scars everywhere. His mouth was sewn shut. He couldn't say anything. He had no lines. He wasn't himself. He wasn't funny. He didn't get to use his comical humor that he's known for. It was very depressing. Last night we went and saw X-Men Apocalypse, the new one. He wasn't even in it. And we had heard that maybe Deadpool was going to be in it. He wasn't. He wasn't in it at all. And I am going to do a review on X-Men Apocalypse tomorrow, by the way. But Deadpool wasn't even in it. In the X-Men movie, he wasn't this Deadpool. He wasn't himself. This Deadpool is hilarious. He has a lot of sexual innuendo jokes. But it's definitely not for kids. So I think it's rated R. Yes, it is. It's rated R. Because there's a lot of swear words, a lot of sexual references. There is a quite intense sex scene about 10 minutes into the movie, maybe, with him and his girlfriend going through a year of just sex. So it's hilarious and it's great and it's very realistic. I want to say a lot the way they took the approach to him turning into Deadpool, because he got cancer, and he gets found by someone who is making superheroes and supervillains. They like eject them with some kind of serum. They didn't really do a background on how the serum came to be and how they got it, or anyone that they have made in superheroes, supervillains prior from the serum. They just went straight to how Deadpool became Deadpool. So he gets diagnosed with cancer at one point when he's saying goodbye to his girlfriend and is drinking this really nasty green juice, and he's like, oh yeah, it's in my lungs, prostate, and brain, things I don't really need. So I guess he had it in those three different places. So it was pretty severe, and when they went to the doctors, I think they said it was stage 4, I want to believe. Like, it was too late to really do anything about it. Like, he was a goner. I think he said it was his lungs, too. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again now. I'm going on 11 times. But it was definitely too far gone. So he got found at the bar where his friend works, I guess. His friend kind of owns it. They don't really do a background on that either. But his friend's always behind the bar and kind of seems like he owns it. But a guy finds him in the bar and he's been looking for him. He's like, so I heard that you're stage 4 cancer and that you're a goner. We have found a way to cure cancer, to cure everything, and you can live and you can be a superhero. And he's the cocky little shit that he is, and he's like, I'm not a superhero. I kick bad guys' asses for worse bad guys. So I'm anything but that. And he's like, but I'll look you up when I hit, fuck it. And that's a quote. So he later on, he's like, you know what? I want to see if I can give it a chance one day. And so before he dies, he goes in, does it, and he's like, yeah, I finally reached fuck it. And they eject him, put him under, and they said the only way to activate the serum is to pretty much beat the crap out of him, close to death. So they beat the crap out of him, they electrocute him, they torture the shit out of him. It seems like probably a week long of torture at least, if not 2. And then by the end of the weekend, I guess, they decide they're going to put him in this really terrifying chamber that pretty much sucks the oxygen out of the air of the chamber that you're in until you can just barely breathe and it feels like you're suffocating, but you just barely have enough oxygen to live. And it's like complete torture. And he changes. And my theory, and there's a couple different theories on why he changes the way he does. My theory is because there was barely any air in the chamber, his skin was so dehydrated that when he changed, it kind of bubbled his skin all over and like dried up. And I think that's why, because there was no oxygen in it, that his skin was just so dry and crusty and crispy. It just started peeling and bubbling, and it's disgusting. And it all over his body, his face. He loses all of his hair because of it, which would make sense. Like I said, it's very realistic the way they looked into it, and I really like that they did that. But he pretty much has the cure for everything with his transforms. At one point, when he's having a fight out trying to get the guy who transformed him, because the whole movie is him trying to get back at the guy who did this to him, because he looks horrible, and he was a pretty good looking man. I mean, he's Ryan Reynolds, he's good looking, everyone knows it, and he's cocky about it too. So he goes after this Francis guy, which is the guy who transformed him, who is the head dude of the whole situation, that changes superheroes over. So he tries to go after him because he just looks horrible. But he has the cure for everything. At one point when he's fighting him, he cuts off his hand. And his hand it slowly grows back. He has a tiny little baby hand at one point. It's hilarious. He makes this sex joke about masturbating with a tiny hand, and it's so funny. So he has the cure for everything. It takes him a little time to heal, but he pretty much can't die unless, if you cut off his head, that head would probably still live knowing him, and that would just be a comic relief too. So I guess he kind of can't die. But the whole movie is about him. I mean, you can see the back here. The whole movie is about him going after Francis, the guy who did this to him. That's Francis right there. Going after him and trying to get his girl back, who's up here, this girl, who's also a hooker, which is kind of hilarious. And they're both quite fucked up, I guess. They make a lot of fucked up jokes about their families and stuff. But they go after each other. Sorry if you can hear my husband over there. He just flushed the toilet. Sorry about that. But the whole movie is him trying to get back at him, and it's quite hilarious. I mean, let's see. I'm a brilliant artist. It says right here, he drew out a little weird picture of Deadpool going after Francis, cutting his head off, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Deadpool." Background on his name, which was kind of cool. They actually went into that. In the bar, they had a Deadpool, on a board. They, every day, I guess, every night, everyone bets on who they think is going to die that day in the bar, which is kind of sick and twisted, but it's kind of cool. One day they bet on this big black guy named Blue, I think it was. And so Deadpool, before he turns into Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, he's in the bar, and he makes his little friend, the bartender, make a drink called the blowjob, which is like a mudslide with whipped cream, and it's in a little shot glass, and it's adorable and super girly looking, and most girls drink them. I mean, it's called a blowjob. Of course, girls would drink it. So the bartender makes it, and he's like, "I give you a blowjob. Why are you making me make this?" And Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, turns around and gives the blowjob drink to one of the waitresses and says, "Give it to this big white guy in the back and tell him it's from this black guy named Blue." A little foreplay, he says, quote. And so, the big white guy goes over to the black guy and punches him in the face, and he's like, "You asshole," and they fight, and at the end of the fight, the bartender takes out a little mirror, square shaped about this big, and holds it up next to the guy's mouth to see if he's breathing, because it'll fog up the mirror if he's breathing. It fogs up, and they're like, "Oh, he's still alive. Nobody went to Deadpool today." So I guess they do that, daily and try and mess with each other, which is kind of funny. But when he finds out that Deadpool, before he turns into Deadpool, had cancer, he put his friend Ryan Reynolds on the Deadpool board. He's like, "Oh, I'll finally win Deadpool because you're gonna die, ha ha ha." Even though it's not really funny because he had cancer and he was gonna die. So once he turns into Deadpool, he goes to his friend and explains everything to him. And he's like, "Oh, dude, and now I'm gonna never win the Deadpool because he's Deadpool and he has the cure for everything. He no longer has cancer. The virus attacked it as quick as anything." So he's like, "Deadpool, that's a really cool name." And he's like, "Captain Deadpool." He's like, "No, just Deadpool." And that's also a quote. And then there's a song that comes on talking about how cool Deadpool is, why he's trying to go after all Francis's little buddies that were in the cahoots with turning everyone into superheroes. And I mean, he kind of ruined Ryan Reynolds' life. He seems, by turning him into Butterface. He calls it Butterface. But he's alive, so he kind of saved his life, and he kind of didn't, So he goes after all of Francis' guys and kills them all. He kills everybody who was in cahoots with it, and Francis and his little sidekick bitch there, who's like super strong and has humongous tits, just because it's Deadpool. He goes after them last, and I'm pretty sure he kills Francis at the end. He shoots him. Spoiler alert. But like I said, I'm sure everyone's seen it by now. But that's the movie. I left out a lot of really good jokes because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. The storyline is set up so it's like, oh, here's me in a big car accident trying to find Francis at the beginning, and then they kind of rewind and go back to how everything happened, and then it's like, okay, now we're all caught up, and then the storyline continues. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, the opening credits are hilarious itself, because it's like freeze frame mid, like a rollover of the accident where the car's like rolled over and he's like hanging onto one of the guy's underwear. One of the guys is spitting out one of the car cigarette lighters that he like shoved in his mouth. Another joke comes with that. It's hilarious. He's like, I've never said this before, but don't swallow, because he puts it in his mouth. It's so funny. My husband's laughing right now because it's his favorite joke in there. It's like, I never said this before, but don't swallow, holding it in his mouth, and I'm like, oh my god. What's my name? Yeah, my husband's like, Wade, what's my name? Because the guy Deadpool's name is Wade in here. And Deadpool's like, almost spell it out for you. And he spells it out, he spells Francis out in bodies, so he can read it from up top, where he's watching him fight down all of his guards off, trying to get to Francis at the end. It's so funny. I already kind of did, babe. Everyone's already seen it. He's telling me not to ruin it for you guys, but I kind of already did. So it's been out long enough that I think most people have seen it. If you haven't, I'm really sorry, but you can still watch it because I'm not putting in every single joke. I mean, there are a lot of awesome jokes in it. Even the opening credits are jokes, because like I said, it's freeze frame with the car like mid rollover, and you can see how he's kicked one guy in the face and got one guy's underwear, and one guy's trying to spit out that cigarette lighter I was telling you about. It's hilarious, and all the opening credits it says like produced by an ass hat. There's a psycho teen, and it's really funny, and you can see one of the guys' wallets is open, and a little picture of Green Lanterns in it, just a little inside joke there, because he played Green Lantern, so Ryan Reynolds did, so, you know, it's kind of funny, and Wade, Ryan Reynolds, he makes a lot of jokes towards him as Ryan Reynolds as a person in it. He's like, you think Ryan Reynolds made it through the acting career just his good looks? But that's him, and kind of did, you know, he's known to be like, you know, I'm sexy, and that's why I'm popular. He's like, I don't give a shit, I'm sexy. So he kind of makes a lot of innuendos about that, and he references to himself as an actor in the movie a lot. It's really funny. He actually talks to the camera. He's like, I'm not talking to you, Colossus, I'm talking to them. And there's another joke in the beginning, which I don't want to ruin completely for you guys, the beginning, but the joke is just so funny. Like, he freezes when he's killing one of the guys with two of his swords crossed. And he freezes it, and he's like, I know what you're thinking. My boyfriend took me to the movies. He told me it's a superhero movie, but that guy just told that fucking guy into a fucking kebab or something like that. I don't know the exact quote on it, but it's hilarious. He references the fact that it's a movie, and that we're at the movie theater seeing it and watching it, and he talks to us like, he's like, hey, I'm talking to them, not you, Colossus. Fuck you, metal balls, or whatever he calls them. He makes a lot of jokes to Colossus and to, what is her name, babe? The little teenage bitch. Ryan. Hello? What's that little girl's name? What? What's the girl's name, the teenage girl's name? Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Yes, thank you, because that is a mouthful to remember. She is with Colossus in the X-Men, and that's like the only people you see in the entire house. There's a lot of jokes that goes with that. I'm not going to ruin it all for you guys, but house blowing up, build character. I have a really bad Russian accent, so you can make fun of me all you want. But that's Colossus. That's one of his quotes. Just referencing the X-Men house always blowing up in every movie. And I'll tell you tomorrow about the new X-Men Apocalypse movie. The house does blow up in it too. So I thought that was kind of funny. But I am out. Ryan wanted me to tell you guys, if you saw my little bonus video upload yesterday, a quick one before I went and saw the movie, he did not get a minion, unfortunately, because goddamn fucking minion. We've been trying to get out of that claw machine in that movie theater for like a year now, and we just can't get it. And every time he gets one, he ends up getting me a dinosaur, and I have a chair just full of dinosaur stuffed animals. It's ridiculous. I'll show you guys one day. I'll upload a picture or something to my Instagram or something. later on today or something. Probably not today because I got a busy day ahead of me. But yep. So that is the Deadpool movie. I'm not going to ruin it completely for you guys, but there are so many hilarious and inappropriate sexual jokes. But it's rated R. It's not for children. Teenagers, whatever. I don't think it's a big deal. If you're under 13, you shouldn't watch it after 13. I mean, I was 14 and watching stuff like this. It's not gonna harm your children. So just under 13, don't watch it because there's a lot of sexual innuendos. And like I said, there is a pretty intense sex scene in the beginning, and you don't see anything but tushy in the movie, but you know what's going down, and it's quite obvious what's going down. So I recommend not watching it during 13, but it is hilarious, so good. 5 out of 5 stars for sure. I'm sure it's gotten amazing ratings, and it's awesome, and I want them to release a bonus feature or something. I don't know. Quick thing I forgot. When we went and saw it in the movie theater, we didn't sit and wait around to see if there was an Easter egg or anything at the end of the movie, which was a bad idea because we missed something. And it is at the end of the DVD after the credits. It talks about Deadpool 2, so there is going to be a second Deadpool. I'm not going to ruin the Easter egg for you guys, but please stick around and watch it because it is so awesome. Because it gives you a nice hint of who's going to be in Deadpool 2, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited. So that's Deadpool 2. That's Deadpool. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse, which I just watched yesterday. It was really, really good. I really, really liked it. Highly recommend going to see it while it's still in theaters. Unfortunately, I had to decide to watch X-Men over Alice in Wonderland, which I still need to go see because I'm not going to miss out on that. Quick little thing on my hair. I know it's an interesting situation today. I'm just kind of rocking the hippie look today. I mean, I got a little sunflower headband, and this is just my hair hanging out, puffy, weird curls, chilling. They got something sticking out over there. This is my at-home, everyday, I don't give a fuck kind of hair. I love these earrings, though. I definitely wanted to point these out. Oh, they're dream catchers. I love them. I got them at some, seashell store in Connecticut when I used to live with my ex. I love them so much. Makeup, I was bored a little today, so this actual eyeliner today. I don't really tend to do an eyeliner pencil. I do the cannot talk eyeshadow with a brush. This brush I was showing you guys last time. That's so small. That's what I normally do, but I did an actual eyeliner pencil today. So it's a little more sharp and on point, but I did my tape, so my angles look really nice. But yes, that is Deadpool. I love it. It's so great. So if you haven't seen it yet, go out and buy it. It's only $14. It is so worth it. I've seen it 10, probably going on 11. I might watch it today now that I've talked about it. I kind of want to go watch it. So yes, love this movie. It's my baby. Make sure you stick around and watch the Easter egg about Deadpool 2. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a good day.